Alright, what's up YouTube? So this is gonna be a little something. This is gonna be a little different than what I normally do. Normally, I do YouTube, and if you want to look me up and look up my YouTube channel, I'll put it like right here. It's Bowser Nation. But on this is gonna be a whole different name. I was gonna try to keep it like something close to Bowser Nation. And for the people who don't know me, I'm Clarence Bowser, and I want to do sports management in college. So I just wanted to go ahead and start a podcast where I could talk about sports and talk about what I love, which is sports, and especially like the playoffs that's going on right now. But like I said, I wanted to keep something like Bowser Nation Sports or whatever. But I ended up picking like Sports Spectrum. That's gonna be the name of this podcast. I just thought it would just be a cool name to pick out, something different than Bowser Nation, because all my other accounts is Bowser Nation, and that's just it's not that it's lame or anything. It's just that I don't want all my channels to be the same like it is right now. But it's gonna be this. The name is gonna be Sports Spectrum. My fault. And we're just gonna be on here talking about sports, talking about especially the NBA playoffs that's going on right now, and then also other sports, NFL, college football, college baseball, college basketball, MLB, and stuff like that. But I don't really know that much about MLB like that. I know more about college baseball, so I'll probably talk about that more. But now we're going to be talking about NBA playoffs, which tonight is the Celtics and what is that team? The Celtics, my fault, and the Pacers, which a lot of people got the Celtics, and honestly, look, I know all the analytics and all that got the Celtics tonight, but I always like going for the underdogs, and I feel like if the Pacers can like stay in the game for the whole game and keep it close the whole game, I feel like the Pacers can come out with the win, at least win one of these games. I know the Celtics is obviously going to win the series, but I definitely feel like the Pacers can at least win one game, especially if when they play at home, and if they catch the Celtics sleeping, because the Celtics, they've been sleeping a couple games, like especially against the Cavs. They slept a couple games against the Cavs, and the Cavs ended up winning at least one game. I feel like the Pacers can at least win one game, but if it comes down to it, it comes down to the end. It comes down to who has the better players and what team's better, then the Celtics obviously gonna win. But I feel like if the Pacers can stay in the game, and a couple lucky plays can go their way, and a couple lucky things can go their way, then they can definitely win. Cause as much as people you know hating on the Pacers and saying the Pacers getting lucky, I don't know if they getting really lucky, because the New York Knicks game, people have been saying they getting lucky and how they had an easy run to the playoffs, which they really didn't. Because if you really look at it, the Pacers were up against the Knicks early in the game, and they kept the lead the whole game. I know a couple of their players were hurt, but Jalen Brunson, their best player, he didn't get hurt until like towards the end of the game, towards like the third or fourth quarter. And Jalen Brunson, he was playing in the first half, so you can't really use that excuse. I know half of y'all players were hurt, but you can't really use that excuse. So I feel like the Pacers could definitely keep up with the Celtics. I know all y'all people want to look at the analytics, and that's what the podcast and all that's here for. But at the same time, I feel like the Pacers can keep up with the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics got more star power, and they're better overall. But if you really look at the super teams, like in the recent history, the only super team that was actually like really decent and really good was like the Warriors, and that's really the only team in the last recent history that was really good. That was a super team. And ever since then, all the super teams were trash. The Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook, and Paul George, that could have worked out. But that squad definitely could have worked out. But Kawhi Leonard was hurt, and if they don't have Kawhi Leonard, then they're absolutely trash. Because Paul George, he just forgets to show up in the playoffs. And Russell Westbrook, he's Russell Westbrook. Like, he's gonna play good and play hard no matter what. But he can't do it all on his own. James Harden, he was playing pretty decent for most of the part, but when it really mattered, when it really came down to it, he wasn't really anywhere to be found. So that squad is the only squad in recent history that could have worked out. But, since Kawhi Leonard can't stay healthy to save his life, and it's not really his fault, but since he can't stay healthy to save his life, they not winning anything. But, the Pacers and the Celtics game, it might be a close game, but it's probably going to be a blowout. Like, as much as I want the Pacers to win, as much as I want to see the Pacers versus Timberwolves, or the Pacers versus Mavs, which would be a really good series, it's not going to happen. Celtics are probably going to win. Hopefully not sweep them. Hopefully Indiana can at least win one game. And the next game we will be talking about is the the Timberwolves and Mavs game, which is going to be a really good game. And everybody keeps talking about it because it's Anthony Edwards, who people call the next Michael Jordan. And he does play like him, but at the same time, I get why people call him the next Michael Jordan, but at the same time, he don't want to be called that, and nobody would want to be called that. He wants to be known as Anthony Edwards and Anthony Edwards only. But it's going to be a good series. Like, the Mavs and the Timberwolves is going to be a good series, but at the end of the day, we all know who's going to win. The Timberwolves are going to clearly win because they're the better team. They got two big men who are really good. They have one defensive player, all defensive player, and he's a really good defense. And they have a good defense to begin with. They have, honestly, better shooters, better guards. Well, I don't know, better guards, because they got Kyrie and Luka. But besides the guard position, the Timberwolves are way better than them. So I feel like the Timberwolves is going to kill the Mavericks. The Mavericks are going to play good for a couple of games. And they'll probably see that, the Timberwolves are better than them. And they'll probably end up, losing hope, losing confidence. But I definitely see that going to maybe game 6 or 7. And yeah. But, that's going to be a good series. And hopefully, and we all know who's going to end up going to the finals, the Celtics and the Timberwolves, and it's just going to be another series like that. But if that ends up being the case, it's definitely going to be a good series. And I know a lot of people saying how it's not going to be a good series, or the Timberwolves are too big for the Celtics, or the Celtics are going to kill them. But at the end of the day, let's look at it. They got Nas Reed on the bench. And I don't know all their bench players because I'm not a big Timberwolves fan, but I know they got other people on the bench that can match the Celtics. So if the Celtics want to go small, well, they are small. So the Timberwolves are going to have to play small against the Celtics. But at the same time, they can play small. They got the people, and they got everybody to play small. So at the end of the day, they can play small just like the Celtics. And if they play small, they can keep up with them. And if they keep up with them, they got shooters just like the Celtics do. So that's going to be a good series. And we all want to watch that series. And not really all of us, but we all know that's going to be the series. And the NBA, they want that series because they're going to make a lot of money on it. Because it's two good teams going against each other. And Anthony Edwards, he's always been a good player. And I haven't noticed that, but I've looked at his highlights and all of that, and he's always been a good player. But we all just noticing it now, and he's really excelling and doing better than what he was supposed to. But yeah, pretty much it's just gonna be me. This podcast is just gonna be about sports and about what's going on and what's the latest news. Which I don't think there's really any news right now, besides, the Mavs, and I'm pretty sure they're playing right now, yeah. The Mavs and, not the Mavs, oh my gosh, my fault. The Celtics and the Pacers are playing right now. And then I'll do another podcast probably Thursday talking about that and talking about who I got in that series and talking about how the game went. And also I'll be talking about the Mavs and the Timberwolves series too, because that game is tomorrow and it's going to be a really good series. Both of these series are going to be good. Well, maybe not the Pacers and Celtics, but I feel like the Mavs and the Timberwolves series is going to be a good series. Because you got two good guards on both teams, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, and Kyrie Irving. So you got you got two good guards on both teams. And then the Timberwolves, they got two good centers who one is a good all defensive player, and then the other one is just really good player who is one of the best on the Timberwolves and one of the best big men in the NBA. Well, really, they both are. So you got really two good series coming up. And let me know in the comments who y'all got between the Timberwolves and the Mavs and the Celtics and the Pacers. And who I got is I got the Timberwolves in the Celtics game. I got the Timberwolves in the Mavs game, and then I got the Celtics in the Pacers game. As much as I want the Pacers to win, I'm gonna be honest here. The Celtics are gonna win. I know I went on about how the star power doesn't matter, and it doesn't. But at the end of the day, the Celtics are a more experienced team. They've been there before, and they've been to the finals before, so they know what it takes to win. So I feel like the Celtics are gonna win that series, and I feel like it's gonna be a Timberwolves versus Celtics series. And if it comes to that, then I got the Timberwolves winning it all. So yeah, because they already beat the defending champions, so I don't see why they can't win it all. I know these uneducated people want to go on and rant about how the Timberwolves, they don't have enough experience and they don't have what it takes to win, but they do. They already beat the defending champs, so there's literally nothing standing in their way. Celtics, but they already beat the defending champions, and Celtics, they wouldn't have beat the Nuggets, so it don't matter. But yeah, this is pretty much just going to be a podcast about me talking about sports. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.